Hey guys, we're live. I'm Jeff with eBay Addicts, and today my guest is the Hoogs, Connor and Desiree. I hope I'm trying to get your name correctly because every time I look at it, I want to say Hogs. I don't know. It's just one of those things, man.
Yeah. So our last name's Hoogeveen, so it's just short for Hoogeveen. So.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. So go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell everybody who you are, where you're from, and what it is that you do. I'm going to put you on full screen so they can see you better. There we go.
Yeah, my name's Connor.
And I'm Desiree.
We live in Idaho. We've been married for 6 years now. We have 2 kids, a 3-year-old.
6 weeks. That's our son.
We are part-time resellers. I have a full-time job, so I do work full-time with eBay on the side. She is a stay-at-home mom, so we just balance eBay together.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, Connor, do you mind telling our audience what is it that you do Monday through Friday? Like, what's your full-time job? Do you mind telling us or no?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I won't say the name, but yeah, I work for as an assistant manager for a grocery store. So, yeah.
Okay, cool. And so you guys have been reselling now for I think 5 years, correct?
Yeah, about 5 years as a business. I've been reselling for quite some time. Used to sell my old video games and stuff.
Right. So tell me a little bit about your backstory of how you guys got started into reselling. Because watching your video, and you guys said that you were addicted to reselling, so I was like, hey, they've come to the right place. We're amongst like-minded people here. So tell me a little bit about what your story of how you guys got started into reselling. Because most normal people, like, I'm not saying you're normal, but I'm just saying, like, most people, if they have like their regular 9-to-5 job and then they have the wife and kids and family, they just kind of go home and sit at home with the family, watch TV show or whatever and just chill. So what got you guys inspired to start your reselling business on the side?
Yeah, so I've always kind of had some sort of side business. My background is in photography, so I did like a photo booth at one time. I did wedding photography. We've always kind of had something. And then I just stumbled upon a Rally Roots video one day about them reselling stuff. And I was like, oh, I want to try that. That looks fun. And I already had a little experience with eBay. So yeah, we were just like, let's go and try it. She thought it was kind of a crazy idea at first, but as soon as she started seeing the sales come in, she was like, oh, this is cool.
And we've always just been really savvy, thrifted all of our furniture and everything for our house. So it kind of started that way. We started to flip things that we owned, things from our closet, and then just kind of picked up from there and started sourcing and made it a business. And now it's a whole family affair. And every weekend we're out garage selling with the kids and thrifting, and it's a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, awesome. So, yeah, Connor, it's funny you mentioned Rally Roots. I was going to say you kind of remind me a little bit of Ryan because we both live here in Tampa, me and Rally Roots, and I met him a couple times. And the energy you put off, your vibe, kind of reminds me a little bit of Ryan. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so I think I kind of compare myself to him sometimes. I mean, I've watched him so much that we've similar, we have similar mindset.
Yeah. I don't know if maybe it's the energy or the vibe. I just feel like they kind of remind me a little bit. Anyways, we're live. Let me say hello to a few people here in the chat. Wanted to say hey to the ATL Flipper is here. I wanted to say hey to LKL Graphics. Keith is in the house. Wanted to say hey to Mystical is here, and I wanted to say hey to Cherry Picker Flipper is here. It says, what do you guys sell the most of on eBay? So do you guys have a certain niche that you kind of resell on? You do a lot of clothing and shoes, or what would you say your niche is?
So yeah, we started off with a lot of clothing. We did a lot of clothing, a lot of shoes. Since then, we've kind of moved more towards like smaller electronics, video games. We still do a lot of shoes, but anything that'll make us money, we're willing to sell if we learn about it.
We love venturing out and trying new things too. So right now we're trying to get into trading cards. Just in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, I've been trying to learn a little bit more about how hot they are right now. We've been trying to learn a lot, as much as we can, about them.
Okay, cool. We have a question here in the chat from the ATL Flipper. He wants to know, what is your biggest flip up to date?
Yeah, so we've had a few really good ones this year, actually. We had one last week that was, or 2 weeks ago. That was a copy of Red Dead Redemption that was still sealed. We found it at a garage sale for $5. We ended up selling it for $175.
We picked up that Nintendo. We picked up a really cool Nintendo 64. she just threw in like 25 games.
Paid like $15 for it. It was like 11:30 at this garage sale, and this Nintendo 64 was still sitting on the table. We picked that up for $15. I think we ended up piecing it out and selling it for right around like $1,200. So
yeah,
I'd say that's probably one of our biggest.
Okay, cool. I wanted to say hey to Dalton Valley Deals. Every time I see your name, I want to say Daytona. I think it's because I live in Florida. There's like Daytona Beach here. So every time I see your name, I want to say Daytona. So if you guys have questions for our guests, drop it in the chat. I kind of wanted to ask you guys a question about your inventory system. I kind of see over your shoulder you guys have kind of like bins and number system set up. So how many items you guys currently have listed on eBay, and how do you go about like, you know, organizing your stuff? Because one of the things that drives me crazy is it's like, hey, I know I have this item in inventory somewhere, but I don't know where it is. I'm sure you guys have been there before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're actually in our eBay room right now. We have a room in our house that's just eBay. We have 4 of those kind of the metal frames here, and about 48 bins on them. So we do number all of our listings. We put them in just the description of what bin it is in to help us find it. We currently have, I think, 1,000 listings on eBay, and probably like another 1,000 of unlisted stuff just sitting in the house.
Yeah, so that way, whatever the item sells, it will stay in the description, like, you know, bin 10 or 18 or something. So that way, when the item sells, you know where to go by and find it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. I wanted to say hey to Robert is in the house. Says hey from mom and dad. I wanted to say hey to LKL Graphics. Keith is here. Wanted to say hey to Nakoma Finds is here. Says hey ATL Dalton and everybody. And so if you guys have questions for our guests, drop it in the chat. I wanted to ask you guys a common question that I've been getting a lot lately. What do you do when you go to thrift stores and some of the prices are kind of inflated a little bit? Because I hear a lot like Goodwills are raising their prices. I'm sure are you having a similar issue where you're at? Because I was watching your video and you guys, you know, you were buying shoes for $15, $16, $17. And so I was just wondering, like, what do you do in that situation? Do you just say, hey, I pass and go to the next thrift store? Or what is your strategy there?
Yeah, we've kind of figured out like which ones have the more expensive stuff in our town. But yeah, there are a few that we know they get really good stuff and they do price it a little high. But our Goodwills right at the start of COVID, they did go back to like everything's the same price as far as clothing. So that's been nice.
Yeah.
And we also get 20% coupons for donating stuff. So some of our old inventory, sometimes we donate for coupons to help reduce the prices and stuff. But not most of the time, we don't spend that much on shoes. That just happened to be a really good thrift day at that one, and some really high quality shoes. So
they were worth it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I was just wondering because it's funny. Some of these like bigger like Goodwills and some of the bigger thrift stores, some of the places are overpriced, and I just don't buy from them. I'll go to a smaller place. I'll go to this, like I went to this church thrift store. They have like a little thrift store in the back of this church, and I found, I don't know, maybe a half a dozen video games for 75 cents a piece. I showed you guys earlier before we went live. I picked this up. This is a Nintendo Wii bag I picked up for $1. The lady says, "Oh, that's a nice purse." So I said, "Yeah, ma'am, a purse." So anyways, so I picked that up for $1. So if you guys go and just look around, I mean, I think that sometimes people don't want to go to a thrift store and come home empty-handed with nothing. So I think it's okay. Like if you go there and you don't see nothing that fits your budget or fits your criteria, you can just keep it moving and go to the next yard sale or the next thrift store. You don't have to buy something every time you go there, you know, if they're not willing to work with you on the price.
Yeah, and we've kind of gotten to know like what times they put new stuff out, so it saves a lot of time, you know, when you can just show up and there's new inventory on the floor and you just search through that instead of, you know, going through all the racks, which has been really helpful too. So
yeah, I kind of mentioned in one of our YouTube videos, like get to know your thrift store employees, and it's so helpful because they'll tell us like, oh, on Tuesdays at 1 o'clock, like make sure you stop by, and so we kind of know like, oh, that's when you're going to drop the shoes.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice.
Okay, cool. Wanted to say hey to the Diary of a Flipper. The ATL Flipper says, y'all have a really cool channel. Terry Picker Flipper says, how much time per week did you say that you thrift?
Well, during the summertime, we do mainly garage sales. So right now we spend about 5 hours on Fridays and Saturdays. So 10 hours total there. And we'll usually hit like 2 or 3 thrift stores during the week. And then in the winter time, it'll be a lot more thrifting.
We probably thrift like 3 to 4 days a week during the winter.
Yeah. Okay, cool. The HL Flipper, he says, where do you guys love to source from the most? So I know you guys mentioned yard sales.
Yard sales.
Those are our favorite.
We have a lot of community sales here, so it's really nice being able to hit 30 houses in like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So
that's where you really get the most bang for your buck.
Yeah.
Right. Plus, a lot of the times, some of the stuff they just want to get rid of. They're willing to negotiate. They're really flexible because they don't want to take all this stuff back into the house, into the garage. They want to move this stuff. They want to get rid of it. So we have a question here from Tacoma Fine. Says, do you guys promote your listings? If so, what is your minimum?
So we promote everything at 1%, and that has seemed to work for us.
We've tried a few different things, but
yeah, I don't like to spend a little extra money on the promoted stuff. We just try to price our items a little bit lower than the average sale, just so that'll sell it quicker than having to promote it for more money.
Yeah, I do the same. I just do 1% across the board for all my listings, and I feel like that helps some. I mean, a lot of the sales you'll get will just happen organically, and the cool thing about promoted listings is that, like, if it doesn't sell promoted, then you don't pay the extra promoted fee, if it just sells organically. So, yeah, that's where I'm at, is the same as 1%. We have Dalton Valley Deal says, I wish not finding stuff was my problem. And we have Bell 7 says, what is the end goal when it comes to reselling? So what is your guys' end goal? Like, I mean, you guys enjoy it. It's not like work or a job for you. I'm sure you guys have fun going out, hitting thrift stores and yard sales, looking for items. But they want to know, what is your end goal? Are you going to try to like put some money together to like help pay like a down payment to your kids for college, or what is it that you guys plan on doing in the future?
Our end goal, we would like to do it full time eventually. Right now, our goal with eBay is to pay off our house, and then I think once our house is paid off, then we'll probably do it full time. But yeah, that's kind of we've already started our Roth IRA for ourselves, and our 529s for our kids. So yeah, eBay is just kind of our extra income. We've paid off all of our credit card debt with it. We've paid cash for our cars through selling on eBay. So it's been a great thing for us.
Yeah, I think it's kind of underrated, and people, sometimes they're in a situation, maybe they have student loans or car payments or something, but then they don't do anything about it. So whether you're doing a part-time job on the weekends delivering pizza, or whether you guys are out here hustling, looking for merchandise to resell, just the fact that you're saying, hey, we're taking this extra money, we're getting out of debt, we're paying our credit card bills off. Because that was me last year in 2020. I was focused on just trying to get my car paid off, because I was like, man, if I can just have this extra $300 a month that I'm not paying in car payments, plus not having to pay full covered insurance, what can I do with this extra revenue as far as sourcing or doing other things instead of paying it out to car payments every month? So I definitely can relate to that. Let me say hello real quick to Patrick Murphy is in the house. He says, hello, Patrick Murphy sent me to say hi, and I wanted to say hey to A.R. Edwards, Vintage Flips. He says, you guys offer best offer in your listings?
Yeah, we do best offer on everything. And any day we're not having a lot of sales, I'll accept super low ball offers just to kind of get the sales coming in. Yeah. And that seems to help us a lot. There's some days where we start off with no sales in the morning, and I'll accept like a $20 offer on like a $60 item, and we'll get like 10 more sales that day. So that seems to work well for us.
Yeah, guys, I was going to tell you, when you do best offer, for some reason, I feel like it helps your item show up a little bit higher in the search algorithm. So, but you don't have to like what really annoys me is getting lowball offers all day. So let's just use this as an example. Let's say I had this video game listed for $20. You can list it for $20. And anything that's under like $18, I'll just auto decline it, because I don't want to be running around here and getting $3, $4, $5, $7 offers when I'm running around, because I have stuff to do. I may be outsourcing, maybe out running around doing other things. I don't want to deal with low ball offers all day. But if you put your best offer on a lot of your listings, it kind of helps differentiate your listings a little bit. It kind of helps push you up a little bit in the search algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know when I buy from eBay, I definitely search for the best offers, because I like to get a good deal on things. So I feel like that helps a lot when you're selling. Yeah,
I try to do like 10% wiggle room, like I said. So if I have an item listed for $20, if I can get an offer of at least 18, we'll work with that. But if they're going to shoot me these low ball offers, I feel like I'm just wasting my time, because it's like I would not have went through the effort of pulling the item, taking the photos, listing it, packing it, and shipping it for like a $7 item. Like I wouldn't have got out of bed for that. So that's just how I feel. I'm like, we're just complete waste of my time. There's no wiggle room for us to meet in the middle. Other people, they enjoy doing that. I don't. I feel like I'm wasting my time counter offering back with somebody giving me a low ball offer. So I wanted to circle back real quick. You said you guys are looking at getting your house paid off. How many years do you think approximately it would take you to get your house paid off through you working your job and reselling? Like, what would your goal be? Would it take 5 years, 7 years? Like, what do you predict, or what do you think?
Yeah, we're hoping for 5 years is our goal. So we've been on track, so that hopefully it will be 5 years. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your YouTube channel. How do you go ahead and manage working your full-time job, being a reseller, shooting YouTube videos, and still taking care of your family? Like I'm not even like if I'm out somewhere and I'm out sourcing, I can barely even like do my thing, like checking the sold comps and shooting videos at the same time. It's almost like I would need like 2 cameras or something, or a GoPro like strapped to my chest. So how do you go about managing doing that? Because like you have a wife and kids and a family. So how do you go about like reconciling the two so to make it everything work?
Yeah, so
I think that's kind of the key. Like, it's a family affair for us. So it's like our date nights are like, what store do you want to thrift at? And let's take the kids. And so it's like, we'll take turns managing the kids while he looks in a section and I look in a section I'm the most knowledgeable about.
I'd say it's easy right now because I'm on paternity leave, so I'm not working my full-time job. So it'll probably get a little harder in a month and a half here. But right now we're passionate about it, so it's just easy to do. And I've stayed up till like 3 a.m. editing videos the last like week or so just to get stuff out. But yeah, we enjoy it, so I think that's why it's easy to manage for us.
Okay, well, I just meant more of like maybe balancing things. So if someone is in a similar situation, because it's just me where I'm at. I don't have, a wife and 3 kids I'm trying to manage. It's just me. So, but how do you go about managing it? Because it's like you can't stay up till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning every night, like editing videos and cleaning shoes and posting photos and still get 8 hours of sleep and still be able to go out and go sourcing and listing and then shooting YouTube videos and still working your regular job. So how do you go about balancing everything? Just if someone is in a similar situation and they're watching this, they're like, hey, I definitely want to get my car paid off. I want to get my credit card bills paid. I'm interested in maybe reselling, but maybe I'm in a situation where I have a family. I don't know how to go about juggling all that.
Yeah, so I would say planning is the best way to do that. Planning certain amount of hours for eBay, a certain amount of hours for YouTube, a certain amount of hours for sourcing, and then sticking to that plan throughout the week. There's times where we're just watching TV and sitting on the couch, so you could maybe do a few listings while you're doing that. There's ways to make money still while you're still enjoying family time. But yeah, planning is probably the best suggestion we have for that.
I know for us, we really divide things up too. So it's like I'll draft the items after he does the photographs, put them in there. He'll cross-check my work and then publish on that night. So a lot for us, it's like taking little pieces and doing it together. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So talk to me a little bit about your YouTube channel. Tell everybody what you guys, what kind of content you make. You do a lot of sourcing videos. Are you going to do like some what sold videos in the future? Tell us a little bit about your YouTube channel.
Yeah, so we just started a month ago. We've been wanting to do it for a while, but I'm very much an introvert, so it's hard to kind of put yourself out there like that. But so we're probably mostly going to focus on sourcing, helping the community find certain things that are selling. But yeah, we'll do some what solds, maybe some like tours of our eBay room and stuff and how we set things up. I'll probably do a lighting tutorial video with my photography background. I think I can really add some value to the community through that. Mainly sourcing. That's probably our favorite thing to create and put out there.
Okay, cool. You guys don't mind paying up for certain items when you're at a thrift store or yard sale? Because there's sometimes that I'm looking at an item, like let's say this item, for example, let's say it sells on eBay for $20. So in my head, I know I don't want to pay more than $2 for it. But you guys don't mind paying up a little bit if you feel like the profit margin is there. So when you're looking at an item, how do you decipher like, okay, let's go ahead and pull the trigger. It meets my guidelines. Maybe certain sales history sold in 90 days. Maybe you're looking at sold comps. Maybe you're looking at the profit margin, saying, okay, I know I can buy this item for $1 and sell it for 20. Like, what is the like? Let's say what is your guidelines you're looking at when you're out sourcing, deciding if you want to buy the item or not?
Yeah. So the first thing I would say is probably sell-through rate. You know, we always check how many have sold versus how many are listed. You always want more solds than listed. The pricing, you know, we're not scared to, you know, spend a little more money if we know the item's going to sell quicker. Then, you know, if it's a higher quality item, we're willing to spend, you know, more money on it. We just bought some speakers at this last garage sale weekend for like $180, but they should sell for around $800. So, you know, we're not afraid to spend the money if we know it's going to sell well and quickly. Yeah. So pricing, you know, we take a lot of pride in our photos on our listing. So I think that helps sell our items for usually a little bit more money or faster. If the buyer can, you know, see the item well, it's going to sell a lot faster. So.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I try to get at least the 10x margin when I buy it. That's what I try to do. It doesn't always work out, but I try to get at least a 10x margin. So let's say I picked up this remote at the thrift store for, you know, $1. I want to be able to sell it for at least $10. So I want there to be at least a 10x margin for the items that I try to resell. So that way you got a little bit of wiggle room. So if somebody does send you a or best offer, or you need to liquidate the items, you have like built-in profit margin in here. So let's say hello here to a few people here in the chat. I wanted to say hey to Rescue Resell, said just sub, can't wait to see the content. Awesome. Yeah, guys, if you guys get a chance, I have all the links listed down below for YouTube and Instagram. I wanted to say hey to Manvu7, says, is eBay the only platform that you guys sell on?
Right now we do, it's like 90% eBay, but we did start at the start of COVID on Facebook Marketplace selling locally. And that's really picked up on the bigger items for us. We've been making about $1,500 to $2,000 extra on Facebook Marketplace with bigger items that we normally wouldn't pick up.
And then it gives us cash for the next weekend for garage sales. So
yeah, so Facebook Marketplace has been good for us. We haven't tried shipping through Facebook yet, but local deals have been good here.
Yeah, I haven't tried Facebook Marketplace yet, but I'll probably sell 95% of the stuff on eBay, and then the other maybe 5%, some of the bigger items I try to offer up. Have you guys tried that yet? Is that popular where you're at?
It's not really popular in Idaho.
No, we did live in California, and it was super popular there, but when we moved to Idaho, nobody uses out here. So Facebook has seemed to be the one everyone uses.
Okay, cool. Nakoma Fine says, hey, your video content is really well put together. Did you guys take classes on editing, or were you guys self-taught?
So I went to school for photography to college, so I have a background in that. I did have to take one video class, so I have a little bit of experience in how to edit videos and stuff, but it has been a while, so still relearning things again.
Okay, I wanted to ask you a question. You said you guys used to live in California. What part of California did you guys live in, and what kind of made you guys decide to move out in the middle of Idaho? Because when I think of Idaho, I just think about it just being like just super country, out in the sticks, out in the middle of nowhere. So, I mean, was it just the peace and quiet? Was it like the land? Like, what was it that where you're just like, all right, we're out of here. See ya. We're leaving California. Like, what was like the determining factor for you guys? Was it the traffic? Was it cost of living? Like, what was going on? I've never been. That's why I asked.
Yeah, everything. So we did live in Orange County, so Southern California. And then my job actually was opening a new store up here. So we were like, oh, let's try something new. We wanted different change, different pace of life. It's definitely a little slower out here, and it's nice to kind of just focus on, you know, family time and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was getting too expensive in California. So we sold our house out there, and about 2 years ago, we moved up to Idaho. So.
Okay, cool. We have a question from the ATL Flipper. I don't know if he's joking or not, but he says, are the potatoes good in Idaho?
The potatoes are great here.
Yeah. I will send you one if you want.
Send us your address. We'll send you a potato.
Yeah. So what is like the biggest difference for you guys living like from California to moving all the way out in Idaho? Like, what was like the biggest, I don't know, I guess the biggest advantage besides like cost of living, and I'm sure there's not as much traffic there, but like what's like I'm sure it's like night and day. So like, what's like the biggest difference for you guys?
I'd say like everyone's very outdoorsy here.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there's a lot of, outdoor sports. So
Yeah.
snowboarding, mountain biking, that's hiking, that sort of stuff out here. Really enjoy that. So that was kind of one of our biggest, things for moving here.
it's a win-win because we enjoy doing that stuff too, but also those things end up in the thrift store. So it's also really good for sourcing.
Yeah, we sell a lot of bikes. So that's
Okay, awesome. So I wanted to talk to you guys about a little bit is what would be like your top 3 tips or pieces of advice, maybe to kind of like, we don't talk a ton about personal finance, but let's say if someone's in that situation, they want to do reselling so they can get out of debt. Maybe they want to pay their car off. Maybe they want to pay off, student loans or credit card bills. Like, what would be 3 tips, a piece of advice? Because even though you're new to YouTube, you guys have been reselling for 5 years now. So what would be some piece of advice that you would give to maybe help somebody out if they're newer to reselling, or just tips in general that would help them out?
Yeah, I'd say number 1 is consistency. You have to stay consistent on eBay, especially. Your sales won't they won't roll in if you're not constantly listing. You can have 200 listings, but if you're not listing every day, you're not going to get the sales. So that's probably the biggest one. You have to find joy in it.
Yeah.
I'd say number 2. We just love thrifting and the thrill of the hunt. So I'd say that's probably number 2 there is, you have to find joy in what you're doing. And then third one, I don't know.
I think just being organized. Like for me, I love having things written down. So it's like having, hey, let's try to get 10 listings today and mark those off. So just trying to find
Setting
joy
goals.
in little goals and setting them. You feel great at the end of the day when you meet them. So
Yeah, I noticed when the way your guys' bin system is set up. Like my shed, I have no bin set up. Like I have a section where it's like, okay, I sold a video game. It's over here in the video game section, but I do not have nothing like organized. Well, I have 6,500 items, but I don't have everything like organized like you guys do, where you're like, oh, this is bin 10. It's obviously it's in bin 10. Like I'm just like, okay, it's a Nintendo Wii game sold. It's over here in the video game section. And then I'm kind of like sorting through them, trying to find it. So that definitely, I definitely relate. Do you guys have a Goodwill Bins where you're located at? I'm just curious. Have you guys been to the Goodwill Bins, or do you have one where you're at?
We do have one of our thrift stores out here is Idaho Youth Ranch, and they do have a bins out here. So we have been there a few times.
that's really difficult with the kids.
Yeah.
But
It's just hard with the 2 little ones to go there, but I mean, it's fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just thinking, since you guys like shoes, I thought maybe you'd be able to get them at a better discount there at the bins. I was just curious. So now you guys are talking a little bit about goals. What are some of the goals you have with your reselling business and with YouTube? Because you guys just started like a month ago on YouTube and you already hit 100 subscribers. So you'll be at 1,000 before you know it if you just keep hustling and putting the work in. So what are some of the goals that you guys have for your business, I guess, for reselling, and as far as your YouTube channel goes?
Yeah, so for the business, we'd like to, double our listings in the next year, hopefully. Maybe get some sort of like warehouse space to start storing things. This room works well, but it's kind of the max we can do for eBay as far as listings go and storing stuff. Mainly just those 2. YouTube, we'd like to obviously get to 1,000 subscribers. Put out good content that people like. It's been fun getting to know everyone in the community, and everyone's been so supportive. So
I think the key thing for YouTube with us is that a lot of times when we're sitting there listing, we're watching random resellers videos and finding new people just to learn from them. And so we hope that people can learn from us, and that's something we've enjoyed doing for years. And so we finally decided to step out of our comfort zone and try to help others too.
Yeah, I can definitely relate when you were talking about earlier about being an introvert person, because I'm kind of a homebody introverted person myself. Like if I was out in public somewhere, I'm more like quiet and reserved. Like if I'm at a gas station or out running around doing errands, I'm not just like, hey, how you doing? So I definitely can relate. You kind of got to get out of your shell a little bit when you're going to be on YouTube. You got to kind of put yourself out there. But if you just keep doing what you're doing and keep hustling, it'll happen. It may not happen overnight, but just slowly, progressively, it'll grow. I was going to ask you, as far as storage goes, you guys have a basement? You have a garage? You have maybe a shed or something? Because I was thinking that if you guys got a shed, it would probably be cheaper instead of trying to rent like a warehouse or a storage unit, because you could just pay it up front as opposed to having to pay like a monthly fee or something to put it in a storage unit.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Our garage is pretty big, and we do fill it up with a lot of the Facebook items right now. Our HOA is a little strict on sheds, but yeah, that's probably something we'll end up doing if it's a good option for us. But yeah.
Okay, cool. Let me say hello here to a few people here in the chat. We have Rescue Resell says same. We love the community, and it says we also love the hunt. We have Manwu7 says, I agree, eBay and Amazon, you have to be consistent. And I wanted to say hey to the Ebliss Reseller Solution, says, hey guys, always fun seeing other reselling couples hard working together, Dave and Lori. So thank you guys in the chat for hanging out with us today. You guys have anything else you would like to talk about today while I have you on the show? Is there anything else you guys would like to bring up or talk about today?
No.
I just want to thank the reseller community. I mean, when we started this, we didn't know what to expect. And, you know, just a couple weeks in on our Instagram, we've already made some awesome connections and getting to know people. And it's just been really great and really welcoming. And we're grateful for that.
Yeah. Thank you for having us on the show. This is our first live. So.
All right. Well, awesome. Now, do you guys have any hot items, any be on the lookout items that are selling for you guys right now that we should be on the lookout for? Is there anything? Because you know how it is. It's like in the summertime you have summer items selling. In the wintertime you have winter items. So is there any hot items right now that's selling for you guys really well, or maybe retail arbitrage items or something that kind of stands out to you where you're like, hey, these are selling like hotcakes right now?
Yeah, golf clubs have been. We've sold probably 30 golf clubs in the past month. They've just been flying off the shelf for us. So that, video games.
If you do want to flip locally, vacuums.
Vacuums, we've been doing a lot of vacuums. We just found a rainbow canister vacuum this past weekend at a garage sale.
Right.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but it's like a $700 or $800 canister vacuum. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I saw that in your video, and sometimes I see bigger, bulkier items, and I'm just like, I wouldn't want to pick that up because I wouldn't want to ship it. But you guys don't mind as far as taking items, and you talk about chopping them up and maybe selling them off individually, selling the pieces of them off.
Yeah, we've been doing that a lot lately, and it's been working for us. A lot of people break things, and then they just need like the one piece.
Yeah.
We've done that with quite a few items.
All right, cool. I wanted to say hey to Steve is here. Resell Dojo is here. He says, sounds like Tim has competition in Idaho. And I wanted to say hey to Patrick Murphy. So, hey, man, I appreciate everybody in the chat for hanging out with us today. If you want, go ahead and follow our guests. All the links are down below for YouTube and Instagram. They do a lot of sourcing videos. If that's your thing, if you like seeing people going out sourcing and hitting yard sales and thrift stores, you can go by and check them out. All their links are down below. You guys have any final thoughts or words of wisdom that you can leave us with?
No, I don't have anything. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Thanks to everyone for being in the chat. Yeah.
You guys have a great weekend, and I will see you guys next week. I have something a little different. Next week on Wednesday, I have a guest on. His name is Jeff, and he buys and resells cell phones. So if you guys want to come by and hang out with this guy, Jeff, and kind of learn more about what he does and how he buys, you know, cell phones and turn around and flips them and make $1,000 a day profit, come by and hang out. I'll see you guys then on Wednesday. Till then, you guys have a great weekend. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.
Bye.